Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's Hoonko Service, where we observe the passing of Shinran. I'm Yamaguchi, and I will be your chairperson for this morning's service. We'll start with the holding of the Kansho, followed by Sambujo, Hyobyaku-mon, and chanting of Shoshinge. For those viewing from home, please use your own safe pen or the service materials that were included in the email with the Zoom link. We will now mute everyone and begin this morning's service.
Kansho. Sambujo. Sambujo. Ni Amida to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagata Shakyamuni to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. Today, on this occasion of the 2023 Hoonko Service, the members of the Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple have reverently come before Amida Buddha for the 760th anniversary of the passing of Shinran Shoni, founder of this tradition, Jodo Shinshu Honganji Ha. With deepest reverence and gratitude for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we recite the name Namo Amida Butsu. Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Amando, 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 Amando. Shoshinge Yoku. 원조 생교 기박후 엔진도 사주론 주게 오도인가 겐세가 어겐네 고유타리 소조시인 유이신지 와그젠 범불신
Next, we will sing the Gatha Shinran Dharma, which is on page 64 of the source located in the program. Those attending in person, please join. We now have incense offering by our organization. Hyobyaku-mon 79. Girl Scout Troop 5325. Junior YBA. Dharma School. three treasures. Those here, please rise.
Sankyu-mon. 隣人聞くたし、今するに聞く。仏法聞くたし、今するに聞く。この身根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか、この身をどせん。来週もろともに、指針に、三号に、消えし立て祭るべし。水から仏に消えし立て祭る。朝に願わくは師匠と共に、街道を体現して無常にもこさん。水から法に消えし立て祭る。朝に願わくは師匠と共に、学教像に入りて知恵組のごとくならん。水から層に消えし立て祭る。朝に願わくは師匠と共に、来週を取りして一切無限ならん。無常人事未明の方は、約千万号にもあよことくたし、我ら今検問し受事することを得たい。願わくは如来の真実義を消し立て祭らん。The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I put my faith in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of thy way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves thy supreme will. I put my faith in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I put my faith in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in thy life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of variance of culpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Gatha's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo
We'll now have Reverend Kory introduce our guest speaker for this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to this Hoonko service. We're very fortunate today to have a very, very special guest speaker all the way from the Bay Area coming in to us live with Zoom. Let me tell you a little bit about him. So, I believe it, well, I always forget how to say that. Was it Reverend Dr., I see it in my notes now. Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto. Right, some of you have heard him before. You can Google, is that okay? Yeah, okay. So, Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto is the president of Academic Affairs Center for President and Vice President of Academic Affairs for the Institute of Buddhist Studies. He holds the George and Sakae Aratani Professor of Contemporary Buddhist Studies, the chair. He's the director of the Center for Contemporary Buddhist Studies and Shin Buddhist Studies Certificate Program Director. Right. He got his BA and JD at University of Minnesota, his MA from the Institute of Buddhist Studies, an MA from Ryokoku University, Kyoto, and a PhD from Ryokoku University, Kyoto. There's a lot of things here, but he's a I'm just gonna say he's just a wonderful, wonderful person. It's like this, if anything. I was watching NCIS, one of the old ones, the originals, and it happens that Gibbs's dad is saved during World War II while flying in the wrong direction. And a pilot comes and saves him and turns him into the right direction. So it's really important for Gibbs's dad to take him to see this man before he passes away. And so he does that, introduces Gibbs, if any of you have seen it, he was the main character, and said, "This is my son. My son would have never been born if you hadn't saved me that day." This is like how we live our Nembutsu life, right? We wouldn't have this path or this Nembutsu life without Amida Buddha and Amida Buddha's promise. But also, for me, Matsumoto Sensei, and for, I guess, people of the last 15 to 20 or more years of IBS students, would not be able to serve each and every one of you in the capacity that we do without Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto teaching us at the Institute of Buddhist Studies about Shinran's works, or some of you caught his lectures on Shinjin and other things. So if you've ever had a settled heart, if you've ever found that Jodo Shinshu is the only path for you through what we do here at the temple for at least this last 7 years, or if you ever have been finding this place to be a great and wonderful home through Shinran Shonin's efforts, or Amida Buddha's efforts, you could give this wonderful minister that's going to speak to us today all the credit. Because again, if it wasn't for him teaching us at IBS or sharing his insights through the many seminars that he's done, then I wonder what Jodo Shinshu in the United States or even in Canada and Hawaii would be like for many of us. So I hope that's okay, Sensei, but and I forgot, I never told him this. I've never told him this, okay? But I've told many of you, much of the reason why I'm here is, first off is the IBS Ministerial Candidate Exchange that Reverend Ray tricked me into going to, right? I always told you that back in 1999. That's when I first met Sensei, Reverend David. But that's not what made me continue on this path of ministry. I think I've told some of you. One was the persistence of Reverend Marvin Parada, who kept coming and saying you should come and take some classes and things. But the second one was, and I jokingly shared this with many of you, I'm shaming with some hesitation. But I used to get these emails from Reverend David about various IBS seminars that were taking place in the early 2000s. And this is when I was like 20 something, right? And it would say, do you guys remember me telling you this? I'd say, well, it would say like $500 for the weekend. And I would laugh and say, who can afford $500 for a weekend for a seminar and things like that? But the emails kept coming. The emails kept coming. And I really appreciated that because it kept the door open, saying that this could happen. And it always kept ministry in the back of my mind. So even if it wasn't for the classes on Shinran or and things like that at IBS and all the teachings that Sensei gave, it was the effort of just sending that email maybe once a year or twice a year saying, hey, we're having this seminar, and me laughing, saying, I can't afford that. But gratefully through things that have happened, I'm able to say I'm still a student of Matsumoto Sensei, and again, by his efforts of turning me into the right direction, I'm hoping that each and every one of your lives have been changed through Namwami-Gabusu. So with that, thank you, Sensei, for joining us today, and everyone, please welcome Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto.
Thank you very much, Reverend Quon, for your very, very wonderful and generous introduction. Welcome. I'd like to thank everyone for your welcome, for allowing me to join you today for the Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple's Hoonko Service for 2023. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. I'm still here in the Bay Area. And Reverend Quon was very generous to let me know that I could join you via Zoom today. Don't travel too much anymore, but I will be in Los Angeles next week. We have our Winter Pacific Seminar taking place at the Betsuin, and we hope many of you will be able to join us next Saturday as well. As I heard Reverend Quon's very wonderful and generous introduction, I couldn't help but think that when we first met back in the late 90s, we went on a student tour to Japan, and Kory Quon, as I knew him then, was one of the students, and I remember getting to know him and really enjoying the time we spent together. And in all the succeeding years, I was so very pleased and very happy as he continued to live a Nembutsu life, and then he came to IBS, was a wonderful student. We had a chance to get have some interaction at that time, learn together, and then to know now that he is such a wonderful and effective and inspiring minister and has a beautiful family. I'm just very happy now to be able to share this time with Reverend Quon and with all the rest of you. I also wanted to say that I heard the lustrous voice and the wonderful visage of Reverend George. Hi, Sensei. Nice to see you again. It's been a while. Reverend George has been a great mentor and friend, Dharma friend to me for many, many years. And so it's good to see Reverend George again. I'd like now to begin my talk, and I'm going to share my screen if I might. This is my talk. And so today we've gathered together for this Hoonko service. Let me just say that we are meeting today under some sobering circumstances. We've heard about the terrible tragedy in Monterey Park, and today we join together in directing thoughts of love, loving kindness and support to all the victims in Monterey Park, as well as their families. I'd now like to ask you to join me in Gassho as we hear the words of Shinran Shonin both in Japanese and English. Gassho, please. Nyorai daihi no ondoku wa miyoko ni shite mo hozu beshi. Shishu chishiki no ondoku mo hone o kudakite mo shasu beshi. Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion that we must strive to return it, even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers that we must endeavor to repay it, even to our bones becoming dust. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Thank you very much. We've begun this Hoonko message by listening to the words of Shinran Shonin. This, of course, is the well-known Ondokusan, one of the most well-known and beloved Gathas that we sing at our services. And many of you know that these words were written by Shinran Shonin himself in a wasan or hymn or poem. And they're very, very beautiful, very meaningful, and very powerful, I believe, and especially important in these very trying times. Today is Hoonko. The formal name of today's service is Oshoki Hoonko, which literally means an annual service in grateful memory of Shinran Shonin, the founder of our Jodo Shinshu tradition. So today's service, this Hoonko service at the Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple, is a gathering. It's a gathering to remember Shinran Shonin, who was born in 1173 and who passed away in 1263. And it's a time that we can express our profound gratitude for his life and his teachings. Shinran Shonin's life and teachings really could be captured in this phrase, Jodo Shinshu, which we know as the name of our school, but it also means the true essence of the Pure Land Way, which really encapsulates Shinran Shonin's life and his teaching. Jodo Shinshu, can be looked upon. It could be very complicated to understand, or it could be very simple, in a sense that this is a teaching in which we entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha's primal vow, Buddha's primal vow of great compassion, and we realize that our birth in the life to come is completely settled, and we thereupon respond in gratitude by saying Namo Amida Butsu. If I may, at this time, just sort of give you my sort of rendering or my own sort of thoughts and sort of understanding of what this means. What does Amida Buddha's primal vow mean, and what does it mean to entrust in the vow and to express gratitude? This is the way I phrase it. This is just my own interpretation. It goes like this. Amida Buddha's primal vow is the basic wish of life itself. That wish is that life may become itself and may give itself freely to others so that we might live. Let me repeat that. That Amida Buddha's primal vow is the basic wish of life itself, that life may become itself and may give itself freely to others so that we might live. And when that wish is fulfilled, when we awaken to that wish and live that wish, we realize a deep sense of appreciation and we respond in gratitude for all of the benevolence that we have received. Those words express my understanding, my way of appreciating Shinran Shonin's teaching of Jodo Shinshu. So today is Hoonko, but Hoon is something that I want to talk about today because it's very important for us in our everyday lives, not just once a year, but every day of our lives. Hoon in Japanese might be read on wo mukuiru. As I mentioned before, it's the sense that we respond in gratitude to the benevolence received from Amida Buddha and our masters and teachings. But more than that, I think Hoon has an even broader meaning. If I may share that with you today. Hoon, I believe, is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to give thanks every day for the benevolence that we receive from Amida Buddha, from Shinran Shonin and our many Dharma masters, and of course Shakyamuni Buddha, from all living things in the world. The benevolence that we receive from those who have given birth to us, those who have lived and struggled and sacrificed, those who have wished and worked on our behalf. It's also a time to give thanks for the benevolence received from those who have taught us, who have protected us and guided us on the path to enlightenment, and as well as those who have gone before us, those who are alive today, and those yet to be born. Hoong is an opportunity to give thanks to all of that benevolence. Hoong also means that we repay our debt of gratitude for the gifts we have received. Gratitude is a word that we throw around a lot, gratitude or thanksgiving. And sometimes, we think we understand it, but it has also a very deep meaning. Gratitude is not a means to an end. It's not something we do in order to get something. We don't practice gratitude in order to feel better or to feel better about ourselves. And we don't practice gratitude just simply to get more healthy or more virtuous. Gratitude is not a means to an end. For Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, Hoong, our expression of gratitude, describes the life of Nembutsu. Okay? And in the life of Nembutsu, we are truly grateful for and we value all of life. We realize gratitude for receiving life and simply for being able to live. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Buddha, now we hear it. This is an expression of Hoong that we live each and every day. In Hoong, we realize that life is not a given. Rather, it is being given to us. Life and all aspects of our lives can never be taken for granted. But each and every moment of life must be treasured. Our journey on the Buddhist path, our journey of life is not an accident. That each life is the result of countless causes and conditions, countless people and things that have given us birth and have guided us and supported us always. I believe this is the spirit of Hoong that we live each and every day, not just once a year. Back in 2011, Higashi Honganji had an expression in commemoration of the 750th anniversary of Shinran's 750th memorial of Shinran Shonin. In Japanese, the phrase was "Ima inochi ga anata o ikiteru." Ima inochi ga anata o ikiteru. This is interesting. They translated as "Now life is living you," which is sort of a turnabout on our normal way of thinking. We normally think, "I am living life," as if life is something just that I own, that I have, as if it's something that I do. But in a deep understanding of Hoong, a deep understanding of Jodo Shinshu is expressed in this phrase, which turns it about. Ima inochi ga anata o ikiteru, which I translate now as right now, life is living us. It's not that we're living life, but life is living us right now, here and now. And so each day can be a life of Hoon. I believe Hoon is expressed in that phrase. We realize, we express, we practice gratitude for all things in life and awaken to the totality of life. We become aware of the value of all lives that surround us and protect us and sustain us, nurture us and allow us to live. And we cannot help but wish to respond in gratitude with every fiber of our being. I believe that's the sense of Hoon expressed in Shinran Shonin's Gatha of Ondokusan. Or to say it another way, Hoon energizes us. It motivates us. It directs us. It allows us to awaken all the more to the boundless wisdom and compassion of life that embraces us always. So Hoon has that energy, okay, that empowerment. Hoon can support and direct our lives and allow us to live lives of fulfillment and joy. This is an expression from a famous Japanese priest, which I translate as, "We are all flowers, bloom, a universe in bloom." We're among the myriad flowers throughout the universe. We're all blooming with all the energy and all the spirit, all the joy of life. There's a universe of flowers in bloom. That sense, I believe, is of Hoon. Today, I'd like to talk, if I could, about another way in which I try to understand or give expression to this life of Hoon, the life of Nembutsu, and I call it living a AAA life. I'm pretty old now. I'm back long ago. I remember AAA was an expression that you heard a lot. it meant A number one, the best. Nowadays, I think the only AAA is the California Automobile Association. That's one version of AAA. But I think AAA in that old sense of the best, A number one. And so as we entrust in Amida Buddha's primal vow, as we say the Nembutsu, and realize life of Koon, we can live a AAA life, A number one life. Okay, let me talk about what that means. What is living a AAA life? Well, it consists of three. The first A is awareness. As we hear the Dharma and live with the Nembutsu every day, we become aware of the reality that surrounds us and connects us. So the first of the A's is awareness. Okay? Awareness is also awakening. We open our spiritual eyes. We awaken to oneness, to the interdependence of all things. This is also awareness. Today, I'd like us to take a bit of a journey, if we could, and gain a sense of awareness, in the sense of awareness of the independence of all life by looking at a journey taken by one living thing. Can you see that on the right-hand side? Do you know what that is? Hard to say, huh? What is that? Sometimes when I ask that question, people say, well, it's a potato. Or others say, oh, it's a pillow. And some people might say, oh, it's a rock. Or some people might say, oh, it's a spaceship. It's a UFO. Anybody have any idea what that might be?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I heard people say it. That's right. And let's take this journey with this little grain of rice, okay? We have to kind of find a starting place for the journey, so this is as good as one as any. Let's say that this journey begins here with a small little seedling, which grows out of a single grain of rice. Okay, so it starts. It doesn't really start here, but let's start the journey here. Okay, and as we can see, the journey of this, it begins at a very small little seedling, and it begins to grow and grow and grow, and finally it becomes fulfilled. It becomes itself as a full-blown rice plant. But it's not something that just happens by itself. It doesn't occur in a vacuum or all alone, but the rice grows through its connection to all other forms of being. That's just like us as well. Our lives come about because of our connection to all other forms of being. Okay, and when we become aware of that, when we awaken to this reality, we begin to live our lives according to that reality. Okay, so this is the journey taken now by this little grain of rice, but it also is our journey as well. So this journey of the grain of rice, it finds itself basked in the sunshine. Without the light of the sun, this journey would never continue. The light of the sun brings it energy and allows it to grow. It fills it with nutrients. But of course, it also has to live in the air. It needs the freshness of the air, the breeze, which allows a little rice seedling to grow. It has to be planted in the earth. So you need the nutrients and all of the other forms of life that are growing in the earth and returning to the earth that allows the little rice seedling to grow. And of course, rain. We're all familiar with, rain. Hopefully you got a lot of rain down in LA as well. We got a bunch of rain up here in the Bay Area. But as rain is something we need to grow in all forms of life. If I see the little plants need rain and water to grow. So it's the connection with these factors and many, many more that allow this little grain of rice to grow, to become itself. The second A in the AAA life is authenticity, which I phrase in this way. Shin Buddhism recognizes our own personal struggles to be real, genuine, and honest. This is something I think we all undertake in our life. We want to be real. We want to be authentic. We want to be genuine and honest people. I think we strive for that. I'm sorry, I skipped the slide there. And Shin Buddhism guides us to know our true selves, okay? To become our true selves and to live our true lives. I don't think Shin Buddhism is a school of Buddhism that teaches us to be nice, that teaches us to be smart, that teaches us to be rich or beautiful. But Shin Buddhism guides us to know our true selves, to become authentic, to become our true selves. to fulfill that potential within ourselves and to live our true lives as only we can, as best we can. Authenticity also means harmony. We're able to live in harmony, accepting each person and everything just as it is. Here's a photo of Prince Shotoku, who also wrote about harmony and the importance of harmony in Buddhism. Harmony isn't just a single note. If we had a single note, that would be monotony. But harmony is like an orchestra. It's like a chorus of people all singing together, all playing together, different notes and different tones, different timbres. We live in harmony. And within harmony, we accept each person, everything, just as it is. That's also an authentic life. So in an authentic life, we live in harmony with all people from all different walks of life, all different countries and cultures, but all with a singular focus to become our true selves, to live our true life. And we see here now, this journey of rice isn't just something that happens in America, but it's also a journey that takes place in all lands, in different cultures, different climates, with different people of all races, all religious backgrounds, all ethnicities, all taking part in this journey in which the little seedling of rice begins to grow. Right, something diverse and across all cultures, across the world. What harmony means, what authenticity teaches us, is that we value differences between ourselves and others. We don't all have to be the same. We don't all have to look the same, sound the same. We don't all have to have the same ideas or same thoughts. But it's the difference that we have, differences between ourselves and others, that has great value. And harmony teaches that we can live together with all other beings in mutual tolerance, respect, and gratitude. This is a very subtle teaching of Jodo Shinshu in Buddhism, but it's a very important one, especially today. We know today in many different areas, in the political world, in the social world, social media, and elsewhere, and even in our lives, as we've seen in the terrible events of Monterey Park, that people aren't able to live in harmony, that differences become obstacles, differences become barriers, they become motivations to be hateful or harmful. But harmony, living in authenticity, allows us to awaken to this reality and allows us then to live with mutual tolerance, respect, and gratitude. So in this day, in this age, the teaching of Buddhism, the teaching of Jodo Shinshu, the teaching of Koon is very important, one that we need to live by, and we also need to teach and spread throughout the world. And the third A in the AAA life is appreciation. That awareness and authenticity are experienced as coming from outside of ourselves, even as we look deeply within. As we continue to look into our own hearts and minds and take a real stock of who we are and where we are in life and where we're going, we come to realize that the awareness that we awaken to and the authenticity that we find in our lives are experienced as if they're coming from outside of ourselves, from another source, as we look deeply within ourselves. We realize a sense of profound gratitude. We realize deep gratitude for the many people who have given us life and taken care of us. Our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, our friends, our family, our communities, our teachers, our ministers, our doctors. We realize, we awaken with profound gratitude to these infinite connections. All these people who have meant so much to us, who give us so much and support us in so many different ways. Countless beings throughout the world. And we give thanks every day for the nourishment of the food, the love and support of others that we receive daily. Again, appreciation. We find this awareness and authenticity in life comes about as if from outside of ourselves, from others, okay, who are constantly giving, constantly supporting us. And you can see then this journey of rice is now taking place across the world. This journey of this grain of rice is something that is the great wish for so many people also to grow this rice, to harvest the rice in their own way, to bring this rice to life, to allow it to become itself. It's harvested in a variety of ways, in so many different fashions, but it remains that spirit of Hoon, the spirit of the vow of life itself, to become itself, to give itself to others, so that we might live. And this journey of rice continues on. It goes to the miller, it becomes polished and washed. It's put into containers, and trucks bring it to the grocery stores, where it's placed on the shelves. And we go to those stores to purchase the rice so we can take it home, and we can cook the rice and make it into meals for our families. And so this journey of rice doesn't simply end in the field or in the stores, but it continues on into our own lives, okay? As we make these wonderful dishes, wonderful meals that we're able to cook together and to share with others. We gather together over a meal at the table. And of course, we know what we say before we eat is Itadakimasu, right? This is a word that we're all familiar with, Itadakimasu. And I think, I'm sure Reverend Quon has shared with you the meaning of Itadakimasu. Here's one version of the words that we say before the meal, which captures the sense of Itadakimasu. All beings and all forms of life have bestowed this delicious food upon us. Rejoicing in this profound benevolence, we gratefully receive this meal. Namo Amida Butsu, Itadakimasu. I'm sure you're going to have an otoki today and gather together for lunch with friends. And then this is part of our custom, right? To, before the meal, to put our hands together in Gassho, to say Namo Amida Butsu and say Itadakimasu. But it means more than just, let's eat. It has this deep sense of receiving this profound benevolence from all forms of life. We realize as well that it also, we're participating in the journey of this rice now, as it continues on to become its true self, to live its true life. Okay. After the meal, we gather together to say Gochiso-sama, right? That's also part of our custom, and it's a very important part of our custom. Again, I'm sure, as Reverend Quon has told you, Gochiso-sama has many different and very important meanings. Okay. Kind of interesting thing to think about. Chiso is actually it's a Japanese word which means to run around in circles. Okay, so chiso gives us a sense of people running around, cooking and preparing a meal and doing all this work and working very hard to make this wonderful meal to us. And so we acknowledge this. We reflect all of the effort and all of the love and all of the work that went into preparing this delicious meal, and we say these words: having received this delicious, very, very delicious gift, we will endeavor all the more to respond in gratitude for this benevolence. We express our profound thanks for this meal. Namo Amida Butsu, Gochiso-sama deshita. I have some typos here, pardon me. So once again, let's return to at least my rendering, my thoughts or my interpretation of Shinran Shonin's teaching and life of Jodo Shinshu, where it's reflected in these words. Amida Buddha's primal vow is the basic wish of life itself, that life may become itself, may give itself freely to others, so that they might live, we might live. Okay. And so this is exhibited in all of our lives, in the lives of the Buddha's vow, and that all of our masters, all of our teachers, but even exhibited in this tiny grain of rice, okay, which lives with this wish of life to become itself, become this wonderful food that can be given freely to others so that we might live. And then when that wish is fulfilled, when we awaken to this reality, when we realize that it enables us to live our true lives, we realize a deep sense of appreciation. We respond in gratitude, and we share our received awareness, our authenticity, and our appreciation with all other beings. It's not simply a matter of saying thank you, but it's as we put our hands together and say Namo Amida Butsu in deepest gratitude, we also realize it tells us how we can get out of our chair and walk out the door and go and live with other people, okay? We can embrace the lives of other people we can share in our lives and the lives of other people, to help each other, to support each other, to be together with all other beings. This is also the life of Hoon. We come to appreciate, we are born to receive this basic wish of life. The meaning, I believe, of Amida Buddha's primal vow. We were born in order to live lives of awareness, authenticity, and appreciation, the AAA life, and we realize boundless and limitless joy together with all other beings. We live together with all beings of all colors, all races, all religions, all ethnicities, all forms of life, all ways of living in the world. We join together with all beings in this sense of whole. And so this is my message for you today, as we observe Hoon-ko, to live this life of Hoon, this AAA life of awareness, authenticity, and appreciation, a life in which we awaken to the connection of all things. We realize that our lives are true because of all things, and we can join in this wish of life to become our true selves, to live our true lives, and to give our lives to all others so they might live in this deep embrace of wisdom and compassion. And so this is my message for you today. It's a message that it not only takes the form of this journey of the small little rice seedling, but it also is a journey that allows us to grow into fulfillment. And so thank you very much. This is a story not just of a grain of rice, but it's also our story. The life of Hoon is something that we can live, we must live every day of our lives. I'd like now to ask all of you to please join me once again in Gassho as we hear the words of Shinran Shonin in his hymn, Ondokusan. Gassho, please. Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion that we must strive to return it even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers that we must endeavor to repay it even to our bones becoming dust. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. 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 Thank you very much. That's my Hoon-ko message for today. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this important service. And my appreciation again goes to Reverend Quon and to everyone at the Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple. I hope to see some of you on Saturday at the Winter Pacific Seminar. The title of that seminar is Hope in Shinran's Perspective. We have two speakers. The English speaker is Professor Jessica Main from the University of British Columbia. She'll be joining us via Zoom. And then Reverend Kigoshi is the Japanese speaker. He's the former president of Otani University in Kyoto, Japan. So we have two wonderful speakers, and we hope to learn a great deal from them. I look forward to seeing many of you next week. Thank you very much again. Once again, a deep appreciation. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, Dr. Matsumoto, for your wonderful message. Now we have President Kory, new President, Terry Iseda will do a word of appreciation.
Okay, good morning, everybody. One of these days I'll figure out how to do that. So anyway, thank you all for joining us this morning, both in person and in Zoom. Sorry I can't be there with you, but thanks to Zoom, I'm able to join you from quite a ways away, but I will be there next week. Very special thank you to Reverend Dr. Matsumoto for joining us today and delivering a wonderful Dharma message. We have a lot to think about this morning as we go through the rest of our service. And also thank you to Reverend George Matsubayashi for being with us today, and our minister's assistant, Reverend Richard Modiano, and and of course to our own Reverend Kory, Quon, for officiating this morning's service. Thank you to Tom Yamaguchi for being the chairperson, and Judy Hopfield for being our organist, and to Ron G and Carrie Tokirio for handling our Zoom and AV setup for today. So thank you very much. And most importantly, thank you to Emily Correa today for picking up the otoki, which you'll all, those of you who are there in person, can enjoy in a few minutes. And we will say Itadakimasu at the end of the service. So just as a note for that too. So thank you again all for coming, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Are there any announcements? Yes. Afternoon, everybody. So, Pack 79, we're going to be doing our annual scouting for food, and it's going to start at the end of this month. So right after evening time, there's going to be a setup down in the general area of the temple, so you guys can drop off non-perishable goods, like cereal, soups. Just the only thing is, I think they don't want to accept glass bottles. Like last year, we were able to donate about 1,000 pounds of food and goods to the Westside Food Bank. So, we appreciate all your help for that last year. And this year, we might work with obviously Councilman Dan O'Brien to work more closely with Culver City to see if there's any programs that we could deliver for food for those in need. But thank you. And I think there's an outfit for Girl Scouts too. They're going to be selling their Girl Scout cookies next weekend. So you guys know for Shanghai, we can have food set up for that. Thank you.
Okay, got a few to announce here. So we got a busy next couple weeks. So on Sunday, the 29th, we have our Shinran service and celebration. So, and if you haven't responded yet, you can still join us. So lunch will be from Pick Your Plate restaurant. So it's not bento, and it's there are vegetarian options too. So don't worry, if you're vegetarian, you'll be able to find something to eat. It's $40 for adults, and it's $15 for kids 10 and older, and it's free for kids 9 and younger. So hopefully you'll sign up and join us next Sunday. We'll start with service at 9:30 in the morning. Some things to look forward to there. So it is the year of the rabbit, and we will unveil Dustin Noriyuki's masterpiece for this year. It's a very cute picture of rabbit. So that will go on the temple wall downstairs, as it always does. So look forward to that. Bill Yamane is our resident magician, so he will perform a very special magic show for us. And Reverend Kory's brother, I believe, is going to record songs. If you remember from last year, he's got a very good voice, and he's going to sing for us. And then we have, gee, I can't even read my own writing. Oh yeah, and then we have the magic wheel. So we'll have door prizes again for everybody. And so Tommy Nakagiri will bring out his virtual wheel that we use to kind of pick the winner. So don't miss out next week. That's Sunday the 29th. If you want to sign up, just call the temple or email us, and we'll get you on there, or tell someone there today that you want to come. Project Bombu starts again next Sunday. We'll make our first selection during the celebration. There are still some tickets left for this year. Remember, we limit it to 250 tickets. They're $100 each, and each month we pick one person to receive $500, and in December we pick 2 people to receive $1,000. And even if you win once early, you get to your ticket goes back in the drum for the rest of the year too. So you can still get your tickets, so don't miss out on that. Kind of on a related note, we have our big game squares for sale for the big football game on February the 12th. That's $25 per square. There's still some squares available. You can sign up at VHBT, it's givebutter.com, VHBT Squares 2023. If you're at the temple and want to get involved, see Kory. He's there today, and he takes care of that for us, so he can see you. You can see him there. February 5th through the 7th, that's the Sunday through Tuesday, we will be having our dining out fundraising at the Humble Potato. There's 2 locations, one on Washington Boulevard in Culver City and one in Lincoln Boulevard in Westchester. If you make a purchase, we'll send out the flyers, present the flyer to the restaurant, and the temple will get a donation. I think it's 20% of your bill. So take a day or 2 off from cooking those days and go have some. They have burgers, I think, and other food, not just potatoes, but it's pretty good. So give it a try. Now on the more service kind of things, February 5th, we have our Dharma school will be having the annual pet memorial service. So, well, maybe Tommy will change this, but this is the one time a year you get to sing Buddha Loves You. So, but we ask everyone to come, and you can write down on a card or bring a little photo of your pet or loved one that you've lost over the years. And we share those during the service. So please join us on Sunday the 5th for that. Saturday the 11th at 10 a.m., BWA is having their annual memorial service along with, and I have to get this right now, Shini-sama, Kakushini-sama, and Lady Takeko Kujo memorial service, all in one. I'm going to screw up her name. I think I only know her as Reverend Smitty. So from San Diego, she just received her Kaikyoshi. She will be the guest speaker that day. I want to say her name is Margaret Smith, but I'm not sure if that's right. But just if you call her Reverend Smitty, she'll answer you. She'll also be joining us on, so that's on the 11th. On February the 12th for Sunday, we're having our Scout Sunday. And Reverend Smitty will be joining us for that day too. So that'll be a nice treat. So we'll ask all the Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Boy Scouts to join us that day. It's kind of nice if you wear your uniform or your t-shirt or something to come to. It'll be a special day. And then the last thing I think I have, if I haven't forgotten anything, this Friday, the 27th at 1 o'clock, the LAPD Pacific Station is offering a tour to the temple of their station and facilities. So this is part of the outreach to make themselves more present, visible in the community. And this is a station that looks out for us year after year. If you'd like to join, we're asking everyone to meet at the station at 1 o'clock on Friday. And if you have any questions, you can contact Aya Masada and she can answer any questions for you. The only warning that she gave me was that there's some walking involved. So for those who aren't so good at the walking anymore, you can decide whether that'll work for you or not. But we decided it'd be easier if everybody just met at the station because it's still a bit of a walk from the temple to the station. So if we're going to meet at 1 o'clock there. So hope some of you can join us then as well. So I think that's all I got. So thanks.
Any other announcements? If not, we will conclude this morning's service, the Ondokusan II, which is on page 58 of the service book and in your program, followed by the reading of the benediction. Those present, please rise. Benediction. We surround all people, all forms of life, with infinite loving compassion. Particularly do we send forth loving thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to all those down in ignorance, and to those whose feet are standing close to the great change we call death. We send forth oceans of wisdom, mercy, and love. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for attending this morning's Hoonko service. Those here at the Hondo, please join us for a meeting following the service. If you'd like to do offering, shoko offering after the service, please do so. Without unmute everyone at the Zoom, and we made this new of
Kansho. We are truly grateful for this opportunity to share this wonderful meal. Thanks to all the many people and living beings that surround us who made this occasion possible. With deep gratitude, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu.